Hey guys, how you doing? Jeff Hanson, aka the Silver Fox, in front of you right now. And let me say something to you. I know you hit the thumbnail that said $100,000, 100K in 7 days. All right, and then at the bottom, if you finish reading, it said not really. That means that it's not. Doesn't mean it's not possible. What it means is I haven't made $100,000 in 7 days. But I will promise you that if you don't believe that amount can be made, by the end of the video, I think I will give you one or two aha moments where you'll start to believe that it's possible. Because first of all, there's the advent of technology. I remember back in the 80s, a guy was walking around saying, yo, I know how to make $1 million. Everybody was like, man, you don't know how to make no $1 million. He said, no, I know how to make $1 million. He says, how do you make $1 million? He said, find 1 million people that will give you $1. You just made $1 million. People was like, okay, how you gonna get 1 million people, man? How you gonna contact 1 million people to give you $1? Well, guess what? What was impossible back then, before the internet, and before the technology age and the information age, is now more than possible. I remember when I was little, I was 13 years old. Bruce Lee had just died, actually. I was a big Bruce Lee fan. They took me to see Chinese Connection and Fist of Fury. Oh my God, I was all in. I wanted to change my name to Lee. A little black kid in the inner city, I wanted to be Bruce Lee. An Asian cat out in Hong Kong. That's what I wanted to be. And I remember I ran away. It's crazy. I ran away from home. Not ran away from home. What happened was I was sitting waiting for my mom to come back from work, and I was sitting on the step, and my friend Felix, who was living across the street, he had money. He was going to the movies. Now, movies was only like $3 back then. So, hey, he said, yo, I got a little extra money. If you want to go, Jeff. I said, what movie you going to see? He said, yo, they got all 3 Bruce Lee movies. Fist of Fury, Chinese Connection, Enter the Dragon. Now, back in those days, if a movie was in the theater, you didn't see it on TV for 2 years or 3 years, a year or 2 or 3. So I'm like, man, if I don't see this movie now, I'm never gonna see it. Because as a kid, you think stuff like that. Well, without my mother knowing, I went to the movie with my friend Felix. And my mother came home and I wasn't on the steps, so scared her to death. She got she got one of my pictures on her way to the police department. That's how they did back in the day. Because there was no cell phones, there was none of that. And the cab driver said, well, what does he like? What do we do? And she said, well, they went by the movie theater, and my mother said, well, he likes that Bruce Lee guy and all this. And the guy said, well, Bruce Lee is playing right here. So she went in the theater, found me. Of course, I got beatings and all like that. Back in the day, they beat you. You got whipping. So I got a whipping. It wasn't called a whipping, it was called a beating. I got beat. Anyway, I said all that to say this, that you have to change your thinking along with technology and technical advances, or you're going to get left behind. Back in the day, it was very hard for someone to make 100 grand in 7 days. But now, yes, people can do it, and people are doing it. My mentor made $42,000 in 8 hours. And let me explain. I'm gonna tell you, by the end of the video, I'm telling you, you're gonna believe this stuff is possible, because what I'm gonna share with you is just basically common. It ain't common knowledge now. It's in certain circles. It's almost like a subculture still. That's why a lot of people are not doing it yet. But it's more than possible. When I first heard these numbers, I was like, there's no way you can make that kind of money. I remember someone told me, oh yeah, I'm gonna make 250 grand this month. I was like, what? Poor kid from Brooklyn, New York? I was looking at it like, you're crazy. There's no way you can make that kind of money if you ain't selling drugs. There's no way you can make that kind of money. No way in the world. And then he ran the numbers by me. And I was like, whew, maybe that is possible. Because think about it. If you get an email list of 250,000 people and you're selling a product for $1,000 and the product is worth it and the product does get results and you're giving a 30 to 60 day guarantee. And if you're convincing and you present it in the right light and you promote it correctly, you're telling me you're not going to get 50 people out of 200,000 to say yes to that? Of course you are. Of course you are. And you can do that in an hour. A webinar. You can do a webinar in 2 or 3 hours. So literally you just made $14,000 an hour. Or $15,000, even more than that, $16,000 or $17,000 in an hour. Out of 200,000 people, you can't get 50? 200,000 that have subscribed to your channel and have gotten to know you. And there's a way to get that. Like, if they don't know you, chances are you probably won't make the money. But it's the thing called KLT, know, like, and trust. If they know you, if they like you, and if they trust you, you'll probably close about 5%. 10% of 200,000 is 20,000. 5% is 10,000. $10,000 people that buys a product for $1,000. 10,000, 1,000 thousands is $1 million. Yeah, think about those numbers. 10 times 1,000 is 10,000. 100 times 1,000 is 100,000. 1,000 times 1,000 is $1 million. So if you got 1,000 people to buy a $1,000 product from you, you will make $1 million. And there are people out there that have made $1 million at one webinar, one seminar. They have made it. And I've paid $1,000 for a course. The course I'm presently on cost me $1,000. My mentor, Zach Crawford, who made $42,000 in like 8 hours. Crazy. He made $500,000 his first year in affiliate marketing. And he was making a lot of mistakes. And he didn't have the advances that we have today. You know why? Because the internet and technology has allowed you now to contact anyone that has a cell phone can contact literally millions of dollars, millions of people, if they know what they're doing. Think about it. Back in the day, Michael Jackson's Thriller album did 600 million copies. That's internationally and here in the US. Adele, Hello, had, now I think they didn't do the views, of course the internet wasn't around when Thriller was out. Adele song Hello did 2.7 billion views. Shoot, forget it. Cardi B with her crazy butt behind did over 1 billion views with her song. Do you honestly believe, and I think Adele's a great artist, and I think Cardi B's song was good, it was a very nice song, but do you think those songs could touch Thriller? Or a lot of his #1 songs? Probably not. The advent of technology. Do you think these politicians could raise the money they're raising without technology? Absolutely not. So you can't keep thinking that $50,000 a year is a good salary because of the advent of technology. Your salary ought to have doubled at least. I mean, the new thing with the COVID-19 is working from home. You can work from home. Oh my goodness. Think about it. You can be many places at once. One of the secrets Russell Brunson said, how would you like to have the best salesman of your particular product working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Guess what that is? That's YouTube marketing. You put up a video that sells your product well, and you keep that video up, and YouTube will keep it up. And guess what? And you keep sending people to it over and over and over, and it sells for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's true. YouTube marketing is truly digital real estate. That's what my mentor called it, Zach Crawford. Now, if you want to be introduced to him, there's a link down. It's going to be down, right? It's going to be in the description, and it's a free boot camp training of some of the principles I'm sharing with you now, some of the information I'm sharing with you now. $100,000 in 7 days. I used to think it wasn't possible. I used to think, no, not really. Well, I tell you right now, I'm not making it yet, but I will be. I will be. Why? Because I know for a fact that it's possible. And once you tell me it's possible, it's like Les Brown said, I might not know if I could do it, but if I know it's possible, I'll put the effort. I'll put the effort forth. I'll take that risk. Because what is the options? The options out there is not pleasing to me at all. Because I'm right now I'm 58. I thank you if you're saying I'm not looking at it with that age, great, but I am 58 years old. I was born in 1962. I'm not trying to work for no 10, 15, 20, 25 years so you can give me 1/3 of what I couldn't live on anyway. I'm not doing that. No. Why I have my health, why I'm still vibrant, why I can still run a marathon or swim or scuba dive and all this kind of stuff. I want to travel the world. And the way you do that is not through the 40-year plan where you start working between the ages of 18 and 25 and then you work for 40 years for them to give you a gold watch. I know people that retire and all they want to do is sit down. You know why? Because they bust their behind for 40 years. They don't know any other routine. Can you imagine how much they've been programmed just to be in a routine? Do you know what the statistics say? Anyone that retires, the average lifespan after retirement is 5 years. Because their purpose. See, when you're in purpose, when you're in what you feel like you were meant to do, there's no retiring. People ask me, yo, how long are you gonna go as hard in the gym as you go? I tell them until they put me in the box. My working out don't stop. And I work out 6-7 days a week. So, $100,000, $100K in 7 days? Not really, not me yet. But is it possible? Absolutely. Politicians, they'll tell you straight up front, just give $5. You know why? Because they're sending it out to millions of people. If they get 1 million people say yes to $5, that's $5 million. And I get these texts 1, 2, 3 times a day. They say 7 points of contact before someone's ready to spend money with you. 7 points of contact. 7 points of contact is basically getting them to know you, like you, and trust you. He that sees the most people wins. Sales is not about the gift of gab. Sales is about numbers. The more numbers you get, the more money you're gonna make. And I'm gonna tell you something. The reason why I put this one up, I usually reverse engineer and model all my stuff behind other people, but I kind of put this one up because, do you know why people get scammed? Because they're looking for an easy way. They're looking for a way to do something without work. That's just what they're doing. And so what scammers do is they give you things that's look too good to be true. An ex of mine, she got scammed for $1,500 because they said they was gonna give her a truck that was like 5 years old, but they was gonna give it to her for $1,500. The truck on in the blue book was a $4,000 or $5,000 truck. She was gonna get it for $1,500. She sent them the money. She never heard from them again because she was looking for something for nothing, looking for a good deal. A lot of people I talk to and that think want to be in business, they get scammed on the little things. You know why? Because they're promoting, oh, I'm gonna teach you how to make this $100,000 in 4 days, and I've raised this money. And all they did, let me tell you what they did. I'm not saying they didn't make the money. I'm telling you, but they ain't telling you they have an email list of 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 names. And they send their advertisements, they send their emails out to them. They've been emailing them over and over and over. Because remember, 6 points of contact. So if I send 6 emails to you that you read, or if I send 15 emails to you and you read 6 of them, you starting to kind of know me, like me maybe, and trust me. Sooner or later, boom, it pops. So they play the numbers game over and over and over and over. That's how they're making $20, $30, $40, $50, $100,000 a month. And if they put on a webinar and send it out to 200,000 people, if they get 10,000 to show up at 5,000 and 2,000 buy a $1,000 product, it's $2 million. One webinar. So what am I saying? Title, $100,000. Now look, if anything I said today, if anything I said in this video, if any of the information gave you an aha moment, made you think a little bit differently, made you go, subscribe down below. It will be in the left-hand corner of the video. You see a little red button. And any questions you have or anything like that, I would appreciate a comment or a question, any of that, right down at the bottom. And I promise you I will answer every question to the best of my ability, any comments, and so on and so forth. I've been a personal trainer. I was in wholesaling for years. I did, of course, I drove Lyft. You know, I was a hustler, man. I was out there. I done sold movies, business to business, knockoff colognes. I done all of it. A lot of those things just to make money. And when I saw this and the numbers made sense to me, and once the numbers made sense, I got on board. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's an incredible journey. I'm really enjoying it. So, if you're not afraid to change, and you're not afraid of elbow grease, working, sweat equity, get some work in. Is it easy? Not all the time. But if you're open to learn and grow and become something different, it's more than possible. And think about it. What is your options? The 40-year plan? Look, take care. This is Jeff Hanson, aka the Silver Fox. Please subscribe down below. Why? Because of the fact that as I subscribe and as I build my list, I will promise you this though. If you subscribe and everything like that, I will never bring you any junk. And I will never just try to sell something just to get your money. I promise you, the value I give you will be 10 times valuable, more valuable than anything I charge you for or try to charge you for. I promise you that. Okay? And from a guy that's been scammed on certain products, I didn't like how that felt, and I won't do it to anyone else. Okay, so subscribe down below and comment or any questions down below so that you'll not only know any videos I release, but you'll also know any of my lives. I have a Facebook page. I will put that link down in below also, okay? So, 100,000, 100K in 7 hours, 100K in 7 days. Possible? Yes, it is. I'm not doing it yet, but I'm well on my way. So, God bless you, man. Peace, deuces, I'm out.